Hello and welcome to Freedive Passion. This video is part of a series which is concentrating on training for depth during your pre-season. Today's video is about lung stretching, i.e. taking a full breath or a full breath plus packs and performing various side bends, twists and other stretches with the intention of increasing the flexibility of your intercostal muscles and then also increasing your vital capacity as a consequence. Some people also believe that this will decrease your residual volume, and we'll talk about that in depth shortly. So how do the intercostal muscles work? Like all muscle groups within the body, they work in pairs. To take the example of your bicep and tricep, if you want to move your arm up, your bicep contracts while your tricep relaxes. If you want to move your arm back down, your bicep will now relax while your tricep contracts. The same happens with your intercostals. If you want to breathe in using your chest, your external intercostals contract, your internal intercostals relax. If you want to breathe out with your chest, your external intercostals will now relax while your internal intercostals contract and bring the ribs back together. So if you're performing a lung stretch, all you're doing is stretching your internal intercostals without strengthening your external intercostals. So if I use the example of my biceps and triceps again, it's like having a very flexible tricep but not a strong bicep. So if your bicep can only move to this range of motion because this is how far it's used to going and it doesn't have the strength to go any further, then it doesn't matter how flexible your tricep is, you're never going to get that full range of motion. The same works with your intercostals. If you're not used to expanding your chest and really using your external intercostals to pull that chest apart, it doesn't matter how flexible the internal intercostals are, you're not going to increase your vital capacity. You're not going to be able to breathe in more air. Therefore, in order to expand your vital capacity, you need to train both the flexibility of the internal intercostals and the strength of your external intercostals. Packing can negate this, but in my opinion, packing to make up for not being able to take a full breath is pretty lame for a freediver. Learn to equalize, learn to take a full breath, increase your flexibility, and learn to acclimatize to depth. If you can do these things, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to dive to 70 meters with a mask or 90 meters with a nose clip without ever packing. If you're packing to make up for a lack in these fundamentals, then in no way are you making yourself a better freediver. Focus on the fundamentals, master the fundamentals, and once you've done that and you need that extra little bit to take you to the next level, then start packing. Full lung stretching to decrease your residual volume makes no sense either when you break it down and think about it. Full lung stretching is increasing the flexibility of your internal intercostal muscles. But as you're compressing, it's the flexibility of your external intercostal muscles which is going to restrict how much your rib cage can compress to. So it's the equivalent of stretching your hamstrings to try and get more flexible quadriceps. You're stretching the wrong muscle. In all honesty, the only stretch that I know about, or the only exercise that I know about, which is going to stretch your external intercostals, is taking a full breath out and then gently, with your whole hand, massaging the rib cage and getting it used to a nice compression. If anyone else out there knows a good stretch for your external intercostals, then I'd love to know about it. So how do you train both strength and flexibility of your intercostal muscles? Hands down, the best way that I have found is Pranayama. And the specific Pranayama exercise is full yogic breathing. To take a full yogic breath, you would start with an exhale, fill your diaphragm, so your belly, fill your chest, and then bring your shoulders up and fill the top of your lungs. Then, as you exhale, you do the reverse. So first you release the top of your chest, then you release your chest, and then you start to tense your stomach until you end with full empty lungs. You do this at a ratio of 1 to 2. So if you breathe in for 10 seconds, you would breathe out for 20 seconds. If you breathe in for 15 seconds, you breathe out for 30 seconds. By making this breath slower, you're increasing the resistance of your intercostal muscles, and you're increasing the amount of time your intercostal muscles are under strain. So as a result, these muscles will have to become stronger. And right now we're talking about your external intercostals. It's going to give you a greater sensitivity over your external intercostals, and it's going to give you a greater range of movement with your external intercostal muscles. Also, expanding your chest as fully as you can is going to stretch your internal intercostal muscles as well. One thing to notice, or one thing to focus on, is we're trying to strengthen our external intercostal muscles, right? So after you've took that full breath in and you've contracted your external intercostal muscles as much as you can, when it's time to take the breath out, don't just relax your respiratory muscles and restrict the breath out by restricting the amount of air that can move through your throat. This is a waste of your time. Keep that contraction in your intercostal muscles and have the breath out, the slow release of that contraction, the eccentric movement. Again, this is going to increase the time under pressure for your intercostal muscles and increase their strength and increase your sensitivity of your intercostal muscles. This is just a great exercise. A second pranayama for increasing your range of movement in your chest, the strength of your various intercostal muscles and the flexibility of your various intercostal muscles is Bhastrika. Bhastrika is described as a forceful inhalation and a forceful exhalation. It can be done with the belly or it can be done with the chest. Generally, the way I was taught in India is the shallower and the faster, the better. For our purposes, we're mainly trying to train the last part of the final breath, because that's where you'll make the big difference in how much air you'll be able to breathe into your vital capacity. So we'll do Bhastrika with full lungs, forcefully exhale a small amount of air, and then forcefully inhale that same amount of air. So you're training that last part of your final breath. The breath should be rhythmic, and the breath should be smooth, and each one should also be identical. This is going to be hard at first, and even physically it's going to be quite difficult at first. So you'll lose your rhythm and you'll start to get tired. So maybe 10 or 20 at first would be normal, but over time you can start to add more and more and more as you get better. Strengthening and lengthening your various intercostal muscles can also be done while you're doing your full body stretching. Anytime you do a back bend, you should be breathing into the chest, focusing on expanding the chest as much as you can. Every time you do a side bend, the side that's the longest, you'd focus on breathing into that side. This week I'm going to release a full body stretching routine where I'll talk about this in depth and show you exactly what to do. Guys, if you want to learn how to use asana and pranayama to become a better freediver, then these are a big focus and a daily part of our 10-day retreats. We also include them in every coaching session, and you can find out more information about both of these on our website. If you like the video, then please give us a thumbs up. If you want to catch everything else that we have coming out, then subscribe. And if you want to help me out, then share the video. Take it easy, guys, and dive safe.